Hello, YouTube. This is Mickey D with episode 75 of Stationeers. So, uh, I just made a mistake, which is gonna kind of suck. Um, I think. Let me see here. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So we tried to do the Hey MacGyver, Hey Calvin. Yeah, so we tried to do have people join yesterday. It didn't quite really work out. Uh, um, After the stream, we did get somebody to join. One person still couldn't join. Um, and I don't know if it made a difference or not, if it was just restarting the client, or the only thing I did do is I deleted the backups out of the save file, um, which made the save file way smaller. Yes, we did manage to catch the base on fire, which we're going to have to go test and see what was up with that. Basically, I tried to smelt all these volatiles near the end, and for some reason, they all ignited, and basically all the wiring around behind here ended up burning up. Yeah. Um, so, wasn't, you know, so basically I rolled back to, that was a test, a separate copy of the save anyway. Um, so I basically rolled back to right before that. Um, but fun times all around. I wish we kind of streamed it because we were running around trying to put out the fire and got it all out, and I had to rewire the base to fix it, and then we ended up having to, yeah. See what it, I'm guessing. I'm guessing there must be some heat trapped in there, is what's going on. And then maybe that's what caused it to ignite. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with this. It's not the first time it's happened. We had it dump a whole bunch of water out. I think, I'm not sure, it may have gone out the passive vent, um, but it was always working fine before, and for some reason it seems like, I guess, enclosing that is causing issues. Uh, though we're only using it for smelting gases, so don't really know what's up with that. So we're gonna leave it exposed for now. Obviously, there was heat up in there, and maybe that was, I enclosed it while it was heated up. I'm not sure. So we're just gonna leave it open for now and see how it goes. Um, and I think before we actually get too far into it, I will probably throw the oxides in there real quick, and we can see what happens. Um, I'm not going to do it inside the base because we will pollute the whole entire base, but we have to sort of cycle the airlock first. And since we do have the copper now, we can go ahead and make the Constantine 10, whatever it is there, so we can get the nuclear batteries made. And I want to make another 100 electrum, and then that should let us make exactly 10 nuclear batteries. Um, and basically what we're going to do is pretty much swap out. I think that should give us pretty much enough to swap out everything, plus have some spares. Um, my plan is to have everything be on a nuclear battery that takes a battery, and then have at least one or two extra charging. Um, but we need the constant 10, and then I do need to make more electrum, which I think, yeah, we got the gold there. So I was kind of thinking that this save was before I'd done the mining, because I came over. I'm like, oh, there's only two. I'm like, no. But yeah, we had plenty, so we're good. And we'll go outside and dump this stuff out. And we can turn that off. We do not need that on. I do have to look and see if I can wipe the map. I did try it real quick yesterday. It didn't quite work. It actually just broke the save. So, um, don't know if there's a way to do that or not. So I'll have to look and see. And I'm an idiot. I put all the volatiles back when I switched the tool bag. So I don't actually have them on me. Ugh. Um, and one thing I do want to do, and maybe we'll get to it in this episode, is to change the cooling in the furnace room. We need to kind of do like we did in the greenhouse and expand. We basically need more wall coolers in there to tie into the radiator, and hopefully that'll give us some improved cooling, so it's not getting so hot. And I had been kicking around the idea um, of putting another door here, and I think I do want to do that because it'll give us kind of a buffer when we go in and out, so we're not dumping any if that room is still getting hot. Uh, so we're gonna take the mining belt. All right, now we'll go out and dump that in. And I believe we do also need to add another battery into the storage too, because we are hitting 100% on the charge, I do believe still, even though we did add that other battery in. I don't think we're obviously getting farther along into the day, but we're still not using everything, or we're not storing everything that the solars are generating when the base is idle. So I think it would be worth it to drop another one in there. I don't know if we'll do that this episode or not, since basically yesterday or even the last episode, we went ahead and already did that. So try not to do the same thing in multiple episodes. So we'll throw one in there. We'll see what that does. I want to see if it's spitting them out or if there's some bug in the chute system, and we're just not even going to pressurize at all because I want to run right in there. And let's see what's... So we've got a little... I should have read it beforehand, and it is reading... It did read higher over... Higher... Oh, yeah, see? So it's not going through the system for some reason. And it should be. The volume pump should be pulling it down. So what we might do is add another volume pump right here, tie in, and then pull everything out. Because, well, no, that's outside. Yeah, I think is leaking. I think when we were hitting that, it's reading it. So it's reading 100. And what is the... I don't know. Maybe it was melting in the chutes. Because that does seem to be working fine. Yeah, I think what I did is I hit this, so I was reading it. So, anyway, we've got to... it might be because all the heat was trapped in there. Maybe that was it causing it to self-ignite in the furnace. Yeah, which does remind me, I do believe there is fire extinguishers. Somebody did make the suggestion to set up a system to basically flood the base with CO2. And I don't remember... Maybe there's not. I thought there was a fire extinguisher. No, I guess not. I'm guessing I was just thinking there was. Anyway, all right. So we need to make the Constantine, which I don't remember what's in it. It's copper and something else. Is it copper and iron? And of course, the battery's dead. Tin. Oh, copper and nickel. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. So we need copper And 5. Oh, we can't put that in there. 3, we'll stick it up in here. And the nickel, so we'll make 100 of that, which this is probably going to outgas. Yeah, the nickel does outgas. I do like having this with the volume pumps. It's so much easier to control. Yeah, so what I'm thinking about doing is we'll just throw a fire extinguisher in, you know, a couple of the rooms, or maybe one in every room. I'm hoping we can mount them on the walls. Probably not, because if we have them, if so, then we'll just throw them in lockers. And what do we need for? Oh, does it not stay set? It's kind of annoying. So 100 to 10, 1,000 to 5. And all right, so we'll turn that off. We will kick that on for a second, a little bit longer than that. 95. All right. What are you not lighting for? Why is it not lighting? I hate when this thing acts up. Our atmospherics didn't crash without me realizing it, did it? Okay, so it outgassed, but not really. I'm guessing it's still reading the CO2 is keeping it from lighting. All right, let's do this. We'll pump it out again. I really wish they didn't make this so they outgas. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. They should just do it off of when you smelt the ores. Because, you know, honestly, if I take a lump of iron and throw it into a cold furnace, it's not going to suddenly release carbon dioxide and nitrogen and, you know, everything. Okay, so let's try this again. We'll let this get completely, we'll make sure it's completely empty, and then hopefully we should be able to light. We could check this too. H2O2, okay, we should be good. Let it run, let it run, let it run. That shouldn't have been, I mean, down below 1 kPa, yeah, there was like a little bit in there, but that should not have made a difference. I mean, it should not have been enough to keep it from lighting. But we'll let it drain out all the way. I do kind of want to put this on a switch, maybe. We'll do a circuit with a pipe analyzer, and then we can flip the switch, and it'll run it until it's empty, and then shut it off. That way we don't have to keep an eye on it. Because I do believe the pipe analyzer will read all the way down to it is absolute, like, 0, not like the gauge reads, to just below 1 kPa. But we'll get this made, and then we're going to do another batch of, probably do a couple batches of, well, we'll do a bigger batch of Electrum. Because we do need that in some of the other recipes. Like, I think the digital valve and, you know, maybe like the volume pump or something. There's a few other things that take the Electrum. I'm not remembering exactly off the top of my head. All right, so come on, furnace. One system I do want to work on soon is the, and I should close this door. Well, no, I'm not going to close the door. We shouldn't be running it this long. Oh, come on. We shouldn't be running it long enough to generate a ton of heat. is what I'm trying to say, because we're going to only do one batch of this and then like a decent sized batch of Electrum. And at some point I'll have to do some steel, but I want to add in, I want to boost up the cooling in the room before we do that. So we'll, oh, come on. Why does it have to read down to such small increments? Yeah, so that, and then we can test the system out when we make it all the steel, because we're going to need a lot of steel. I've still got a lot of walls to enclose, you know, with this type of stuff. And then I do want to set up, we're going to use some more, well, that'll be iron though for the piping. Because now that the map is on Mars, I want to set up an exterior intake from the Martian atmosphere, because that'll give us a basically unlimited supply of oxygen, nitrogen, and CO2. And we definitely need the CO2, because if we do that, then we can keep the greenhouse running all the time, which will give us a lot more oxygen as well. Really? Really? What are you going to go out to, like 6 decimal points? Come on. Come on. And take off that last thousandths. Really? Really? Where are you reading now? There was an update today. I don't know what was in it. They didn't have anything in the notes. So it's going from version 6022 to 6023. And I have no idea what they did. I'm guessing it was some minor bug fix or something, because they didn't document it. Okay. So it's basically completely empty, but it's still reading. I think we're going to have to call that good. If it doesn't light now, I'm going to, I don't know, throw a wrench at the machine or something. Oh my God. That's... Oh. No, none of the atmospherics has crashed. I do not get what's going up with this thing. Copper and nickel. We should be able to light. I don't want to dump the stuff out. I guess we could dump it out again. I swear, sometimes this thing works fine. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. And now, of course, it's going to want to outgas again. Oh, maybe it's not. Does the reagent not outgas? Well, that's kind of good to know. I'm going to pre-mix stuff. I don't know. We'll see if it'll light. No, it's not going to light. I think it's one of those things I'm going to have to walk away from it. I don't know. Maybe they broke it in the update. It was obviously working like yesterday. So we could try pressurizing it higher just to see if it makes a difference. It shouldn't, but... And I'm going to take it down until the gauge says 0. I'm not going to take it all the way down. This takes way too long. But I don't know. We've run into this before where it would not ignite, and then all of a sudden it just starts working again. So I think what I'm going to try to do is just pressurize it higher. You could have joined. All right, we're going to try to pump a bit more into there and see if it makes... I mean, usually... Oh, wait, I think I did read a change where you have to have 150 in there now. But, no, it's still not lighting. I don't even think it's pushing the button. No, the furnace will not activate. Isn't that awesome? Oh, that's right. Well, you know, I'm old, so I get forgetful. Remember? All right, so the furnace is refusing the light. That is really awesome. All right, let's try this. Save world. Overwrite. Overwrite. I'll leave the session, pop back in, and see if it fixes it or not. Uh-huh. That's nice. So if we leave the session, exit. We have had this do it before. All of a sudden it starts working. I don't know if it's the atmosphere, it just gets confused or what. But not the first time we've run into the issue with the furnace. I guess I could try also just really highly pressurizing it, but we shouldn't need to. I mean, usually we set it to 100, it ran fine. 100, 150. Are we still pressurized? We are still pressurized. And refuses to activate. So what if we dump the reagents out of it? Nope, will not activate. I don't get what's going on with the thing. Oh, this is where they go wandering around the base. That's right. All right, so let's go and do this. And this is really weird because it was working. That's what I was going to try to do. I have to swap over to the other tool belt. And see if that's... is it going to be the wrench or is it going to be the... No. I should vent it first, but I don't think it's really going to matter. I say that, and then there's this explosion. Okay, now what are we pressurized with? I've tried turning... It's only one button. I've tried venting it out like 3 times now. I've tried pressurizing it. I've tried pressurizing it to higher amounts. It still is refusing to run. I almost think they broke it in today's update. But they've since they did not say what today's update was, I don't know. I should actually hang on. Let me check on the Steam forums and see if there's reports of furnaces being broken, because I would imagine that that would be something that would obviously be reported more than once. Oh, let me look at filtration overpricing, bug reports. Looking through airlock, loss control, or duplication. Hmm. It doesn't function. Yeah, I don't see any reports of it. So maybe we're just lucky and ours is bugged again. But we'll let it depressurize again. We'll refill it up. I mean, we've got oxygen and volatiles. That's it. Why do we have... Oh, that's reading from the furnace. The pipe, oxygen and hydrogen. Yeah, so we should be fine. Pumping a little bit faster. Reading at 0. Now the weird thing was is it was getting down to, I guess, millions of moles or micromole, whatever that is, or thousandths of mole. Yeah, that would be 1,000. Why do they have it listed as a thousandth of a mole if they're showing it as a thousandths? That doesn't make much sense. 0.002 mole is a thousandth of a mole. Why would you say 0.001 m mole? If you said 1 m mole, that would be a thousandth of a mole. Yeah, I know. I just had that with my phone. I had to call up my son's service provider for his phone. It was basically kind of like the same thing. Is they had to do a callback after I restarted the phone, and the first thing they said was, "Oh, can you restart the phone?" And I said, "I literally just rebooted it because you guys just told me to restart it." Okay, yeah, this is awesome because, we kind of need this to work. And really, I'm kind of out of things to try since we've already. I mean, it shouldn't matter if there's anything in there or not. We should just be able to light it. And we've still got the millions of moles in there, but that should not be enough to keep it from lighting. So maybe they changed it. We'll just pump like 1,000 kPa in there. I'm just gonna click in the button, and maybe eventually it'll start. Maybe we've actually got to get it up into the green now to light it. No, no, no. It's just not lighting. I can't think of anything that would changed that would keep this from lighting. No, no, it just cannot light. All right, so we'll just vent it out. I'm gonna walk away, let it vent. We'll go work on something else, because obviously otherwise, yeah, I know, right? Can I use the torch? Can I light this one? I don't even know what's in here. It's probably just all kinds of stuff because it's tied into the. Well, see, that shouldn't be doing that either. This is the intake. This is the exhaust. So nothing should be getting in here, but yet it is. It's back feeding from the exhaust, which it should not be able to do. Because they're specifically set up not to do that. But no, even though we have also, for some reason, a pretty much, well, that's because it's coming off the other furnace. So the H2O2 coming off the other furnace exhaust is basically backflowing into here. No, because that one has the volume pump on it, so it can't backfeed. Once we pull everything out, that line's empty. I mean, this one, yes, I could see, but this one we don't actually light. We just dump the stuff in there to smelt it. I would just say there's something wrong with the furnaces. Um, yeah, because where we have this volume pump, when it drains this, when this is at 0, this pipe is at 0 as well. So there's nothing to backfeed into the system. And I don't know, because obviously yesterday we were running it with no problem, and now today they didn't add like a power port on this thing, did they? No, it's still data only. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm assuming that they've broken them in today's update, or we're just having a weird bug in the system. But I am going to just leave the mix in there. And it does say power and data. I don't know, but it only shows data. I think it's just still labeled power and data. We could try hooking it up. I mean, maybe it takes a line now for the igniter to work. I would think that would be a note that they would. What was that? I was answering yours because you said maybe that's what's preventing the other from lighting is backfeeding. And I was saying, no, it can't backfeed because there's a volume pump. So we're going to try hooking a power line up to it. I can't see them have adding that in, but it is saying it is a furnace. It is saying it is power and data. So maybe they've made it so that it requires power now. I don't know. I'm kind of out of options to try. I mean, we've tried restarting the map. I've tried venting it out, and I think that's going to be too close to the machine. Yeah, I know. It seems kind of unlikely that that's what it is, but I figured, yeah, I would try it, and then opposed to, tomorrow going, oh, yeah, it requires power now. I mean, it is an early access, so they could make that change. Actually, I know it does not require power. I'm going to go ahead and do it, but I know it doesn't because I was just on um, PT3D's world. I was helping him work on his map, and we ran his furnace, and it ran fine without it having power. And actually, he had a power line hooked to it, and I said, "Oh, you don't need a power line for that," and he disabled it. Oh, I take that back. We only smelted gases, or um, we only ran ices through it. No, still does not light. Yep, does not light. I'm gonna let it get up to the green. I could see them making you now. You like you change they change the pressure or something, and it has to get up to higher. It has to read into the green before it'll light. But obviously that's not the case. What's your idea? Because I'm kind of out of ideas, and I'm just gonna let it pressurize. I mean, my thought is either it's confused because there's millions of moles stuck in there, or thousands of moles stuck in there, and it's not wanting to light because it's thinking that there's stuff in the system. I mean, that's kind of my suspicion because it's seeming like it doesn't want to drain those out. And I really wish this worked. I know it's more realistic that it pumps slower as it gets lower, but it would be so nice if it actually pumped like that the whole time. No. When it's in red, that's telling me that it's an old version. So that's a previous version, is what it's telling me. That save is in an close. See, so this is we've actually had another update. So we're now at 25. So they've done a few. They've done yesterday. We were at 22. So they've done 3 versions. Um, because we were at 23 earlier today, and now we're at 25. Um, so see, now it's not red because it's the current version. So that's telling me it's an older version. and it's an older version. Okay, so I'm at a loss on this. Neither furnace is lighting. I'm gonna let it run and just let it pump out, and we'll go figure something else to work. We'll work on the cooling for in here. How's that? We'll do that instead because we're now at 37 minutes trying to get this to uh, to vent out. I could try between streams. I could try having Steam verify the files, but I don't really see that being an issue. Like I said, I was the last 2 3 hours I've been helping PD3T on his map, trying to learn, teaching him how to learn learn the game, basically giving him a hand setting stuff up. Um, and we were able to run his furnace fine without any issues. And he was on Mars as well, so that's why is there a oh, we crossed over right there. Okay. Anyway, let's make some wall coolers, and I'm gonna let that run and just let that vent and see if we can maybe if we get the millions of moles out of there or thousands of moles out of there, if it clears up that issue. That's the only thing I can think of is it's counting those gases are in there, and it's basically keeping it from igniting. That, or they just completely broken the furnaces in the update, which would be kind of annoying because obviously we haven't really been using the furnaces lately, and now we actually need it. So we need gold and copper. So we have plenty of copper in there. I mean, we smelted all the alloys yesterday. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have to use this, which is going to slow everything up. And it's just going to be one of those streams where everything's, nothing goes right. I can see it right now. And yeah, we're just going to keep letting that run. All right, so let's get this stuff put back to where it goes. And I'm actually going to keep that in there for now. Yeah, I'm guessing so. I mean, I wasn't planning on this being a huge stream anyway, just because it is a Sunday and I've got work tomorrow, and I've got surveyors coming down that got to straighten out a property line issue in the morning. So I've got to get up a little bit earlier than normal as it is. But I figured we get the Constantine made, and we would get the nuclear batteries made. Where do we got a decent amount of iron? 49. Actually, I think we have some. We can pull it out of here. And what are we dumping? 40. Yeah. 4, 5. How many rooms do we have? 1, 2, 3. Actually, I guess I should see first is. I'm pretty sure they're. Yeah, they're just counted as a tool. Oh, that's annoying. We can't. We need little. Come on, they're fire extinguishers. We need a little. No, there's a. So my house is like 108 years old. The neighbor's house is like about that as well. A long time ago, it was like a big 80-acre lot of land that was broken up. And basically, when they put my driveway in like 108 years ago, it's like we just recently discovered it's literally like probably my driveway is literally like 4 feet wide coming off of the road because it crosses over the property line basically. So we're doing a little kind of like not land swap, but I've basically got to buy a little bit of which is the land she's just charging like $100. But we've got to pay like $1,500 or $1,400 in legal fees. Yeah. Um, so and there's a stream between my property and her property, um, and even the previous owner owned the house for like 30 years, and everybody always thought the stream was like the center of the stream was the boundary. Well, no, it turns out that it's not the center of the stream. It's some reason it was offset from the edge of the stream. So and basically they're selling their property now, and they had the surveyor come out to mark the lines for in preps of selling it, and that's when they discovered the whole issue. So, but it'll be straightened out shortly enough. So, oh come on, let's kick that off. There, 43. We're pretty close. And we need the copper, which we do have a ton of copper in here. Just throw all this stuff back in here. There we go. And we're going to make, I don't know, 3, 4. This one is sitting at the bottom of like a 20-foot bank, so it's not really going any. It can't really go anywhere, and it actually crosses underneath the road with a culvert, so it's never moved since they put the culvert in. Basically, it's impossible for the head of the stream basically to move now. I could see, yeah, if it was, you know. If it was really shallow banks or something. Oh yeah, 2 pipes, great. Then yeah, I could have potentially moved. But yeah, no, it's we figured it off on the road frontage. So, because we do have an iron pin on the other side. But yeah, so either way, I mean, even if the stream had moved, it couldn't have been that, because then that would have meant that my driveway would have been, cut through by a stream. And we need pipes, 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 pipes. Thank you. So that furnace that we have, the smeltery that's inside, that we keep having issues with it, it's buried in the wall over there. I'm thinking about just moving that outside and just tying it into the vents. That way it gets rid of the issues of if it if it does auto ignite for some reason, it's not going to burn down the base. And there's not really, I mean, now that I think about it, and before, it was like one of the first ones we threw in, and it, I mean, that's basically been sitting there since we initially built the base. It's not really a point in having it be there now. I'd probably just stick it outside. I mean, we can't ever use this anyway because the base is always pressurized for the most part. So instead of having the chute there, we could just have the furnace there, and it could just tie into the return line. And then that would get rid of some of the issue with that. And if we check this real quick, yeah, see, You know, we've still got thousands of mols in there. Well, it's saying 00000, but I don't know if it's just reading so low that it's not actually clearing out. I have a feeling that's why it's not lighting. Is it's because it's not actually emptying. We don't really need the chutes because we only use it for ice. So all we really need to do is have the exhaust pipe tie into the input on the filtration system. So we're gonna move all of this stuff, basically. Really? Why did you shut off from... Okay, you're just flipping. Um, just so we don't accidentally depressurize the base. Oh, that's weird. I guess I put it in the data port. Oh, that's a way to randomly... Where'd my wrench go? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I can't say I've ever done that before. I bet it's one of those things you can pretty much put anything in there now. All right, so if we do, there's our tie-in. So what we can do is we can change this to a three-way. And we're just going to tee off. And we're just going to put a line of wall coolers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I made 4, right? Yes. And we're going to try this and see if this works any better. Oh, actually, I think I actually do want that like that. Because now we can still... yeah, we could do that. Where did those... What? What? I just threw it... Oh, there they are. Okay. And hopefully we don't have anything that's in the way on this. Okay, there we go. So now we can... oh, we didn't actually have a tank in there. That's right, because the system's already filled. Actually, I'm going to pull that wire out first. We can pull that wire out. Okay. And now these are probably going to act all funky. Last time I did this, I had to keep pulling them up and replacing them on the walls before they would actually hook in and run correctly. And come on, stop being... Thank you. Now we're going to have to see if the... Oh, do we have something under there? Oh, nope. It's just being very, very touchy. All right. Okay. Oh, and we can change the circuit to a batch writer. And then that will, it can run them all. There we go. There we go. And yep, we can tie right off of there. Yeah, that'll work very nice. That way, if we need to top off the system more, we can. And it was at... No, I'm thinking, yeah, that's good. And let's see what the system actually is at. 1.75 MPa. All right, so we're still good. It's a little on the warm side though, but is it going to... Oh, very nice. Oh, look at that temperature drop. So I still don't know if it'll keep up with the furnace, but it's definitely a lot faster than it was. And the radiator system should cool back down. That the pipes are all hooked up. And we can leave that off. Okay, so we want to change that. Oh, and we got an autosave. Yeah, well, hopefully, you know, it should circulate it a lot faster now. So we'll pull this up. And if we need to, we can expand it out. I mean, we can run it down, or we can, you know, we can run it, bend it around that way. I think actually we got a circuit behind there. I did think about actually putting a whole bunch of them on the ceiling, but we'll see how it works. Let's see, batch writer. There we go. So we want to do input from furnace room temp. There we go. Oh, really? We didn't name that. All right, logic compare. And I think I just passed it. Logic compare. Oh, there's the autosave. Okay, I guess we were having an oddball. I've noticed that. We were getting a little lag spike every now and then as of the last couple of updates. So, and we're going to output to the wall cooler. Wall coolers. And then on. There we go. So, now if we drop that, they all kicked on. Very nice. Dropping temperature very fast. So even, hopefully, even if it does heat up in here, this should cool it down relatively quick. And that should be a nice little improvement in there. I'm going to go ahead and open that door up. And we still need to, that is something else we need to do. I want to put a switch on there and a selector, so that way we can override the whole light shutting off when the door is closed. And let's see where our furnace is at. See, it's still reading. Maybe I'll have to try completely restarting the client. Obviously, there's something going on, because, you know, it was working perfectly fine yesterday. And did I still have the reader? That's fine. We actually need that. And we'll top off some cables. If I thought about it, I should have had it processing some more. I was going to run those through the furnace, because we can do batches of iron and some more copper. Those are good for the... Ooh. That dropped a little low for some reason. Oh, probably because all the ACs are running. I didn't shut any. No, we were idling with the ACs on yesterday. That's kind of weird. That's the logic thing where it kind of glitches out. Oh, it shut it off. That's why. Okay, so we've hit 20 degrees on there. So it's cycling that. Very nice. This one we're not going to hit, though. And I actually don't want to run it that cold. We're at negative 60 outside. So we can match that. Okay. Huh. All right. So I am we're hitting Yeah. Yeah, it's a little oddball because I see it kind of like random spots. You know, like on be down below, the light kind of shines through everything. And I'm betting this is still reading. Yes. All right. So I'm going to call this, we're hitting an hour now. I'm going to call this good for this stream. Obviously, uh, we didn't get the nuclear batteries made, unfortunately. I'd like to see why we're dropping so low. We shouldn't be, we weren't dropping that low before. Um, yeah, the only thing I can think of is it's the ACs because everything's still hooked up. So I don't know. We'll let it run and see. Um, but we're gonna call this yeah. Well, the joys of early access. Um, so what I'll do is I'm gonna call it good for this stream. I might do another stream tonight. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the completely exit the client, restart it, and see if the furnace will light or not, or see if it finishes clearing it out. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Um, and see if it fixes it. If it fixes it, I will probably do another stream and we will make the nuclear batteries. Um, I could. Um, and, you know, we'll make the nuclear batteries. We'll get the alloys melted up and whatnot because we really need the furnace running for the next part. Um, if it's still doing it, then I'll probably just hold off until tomorrow and do another stream. Then hopefully, I mean, if they broken furnaces, obviously there would be massive outcry because that's really, you know, you kind of need that um, when you get to the point where you're doing alloys. So, I mean, there's no other way around it. Um, I know I'll have to change the title. So, yes. So, broken furnaces and upgrading AC wall units or furnace cooling. Yes. And I thought of another system I might want to add, and that is a passive vent between, so like basically between every room and like the center of the base is just adding a passive vent and maybe tying like a digital valve into it. Because right now the problem is like we close this, that's going to equalize out to a different pressure. Then I open it and we get a pressure differential and or temperature. Because you know we have one temperature sensor that's doing all this section of the base. Greenhouse is on its own temperature sensor, and then just because of the massive size of this room and it's needing its own heating circuit, this has its own. So this one's not bad. We can leave this one separately, or separate. But I was thinking about doing a passive vent. That way, if the doors are closed, the lights are off, it's still equalizing between the rest of the base. And it doesn't have to be like right over the doors. We can just do wherever. And because what we're running into right now is if I leave this door closed, the for whatever reason, and it's weird, which I have seen some reports on, like I've turned this off, it will pull almost out. That one passive vent pulls almost all the pressure out of this room. I don't know why, but it does. Um, yeah, well, that's why I was thinking about adding the valves in. So basically, I want to add a switch somewhere so that if I can hit that switch, it shuts off those passive vents. And then that way, if I have to depressurize one room individually, say like, oh my God, the furnace room caught on fire, and I punch a hole through the wall just to get it vented out, and to put out the fire before it spreads. That I can basically hit that panic switch and shut those valves off, and it's not going to suck all the atmosphere out of the rest of the base. Um, so that's kind of my thought on that. It's an idea I had last night, um, and then it would get around the issue of now that where we've added that circuit in to save power on closing the because the whole point is to turn the lights off to save power. But if we do that, then we end up with like pressurization and heating issues. Yeah, yeah, that is an idea. I mean, I could just have, by the door of each room or something, because, I hit the switch, close the door, hit the switch, and then punch a hole through the wall or whatever, something like that. And then maybe have a batch writer. We'd probably want to do it individually anyway. Um, well, my thought is either we pull it off of this side, because this is all wired up together, right? Or each room is wired up individually. So if it's on this side, it would control just this room. Um, but the thought would be is that we have one here, somewhere that shuts the whole system down. Because say what happens if we get a leak in here, right? We're not going to want to run to every single door, hit the switch, hit the switch, hit the switch, hit the switch. So maybe one inside by every door, and then one out here that we can hit, shut down the whole system. Um, so that is another little system I thought of that we could throw into the base. But and I'm still looking at this. I know it's probably not have changed. Look, it hasn't changed. Um, Yeah, yep. Well, I think we can do it with a selector switch, but the problem is going to be if they're on their own separate circuits. Um, so we might end up doing something where we have two valves and we control one on this side with this switch, and then we control one on the other side with the room. So that is an option too, but then we're running two digital valves instead of just one. The other thought is where we tie the circuitry together, and then we use a selector switch to say if this switch is on, then it basically runs, and if this switch is off, then it'll let these switch run. So we'll look into it. I think it'll be something, it'll be one way or the other on that. We're just going to run into the issues of where, how are we going to wire it up exactly? Um, but we'll call it good for this episode. I'm going to restart the client, and then, like I said, I may or may not be back for another stream tonight. But if not, I will probably stream tomorrow. Oh, and we have a massive snowstorm coming again. So we're supposed to get 10 to 16 inches with possibly up to 20, starting Tuesday morning going into Wednesday night. So, which is today's obviously Sunday for me. So, yeah, yeah, we've got a massive snowstorm coming through. Um, is the forecast right now. I have to see if they've actually updated it or not. But yeah, that's my local area. That is my local forecast. Is 10 to 16 inches. I'll be within the 10 to 16 inch range. Yeah, starting 8 a.m. Tuesday morning, going into 2 p.m. Wednesday night, and still the same forecast as last updated at 3:13 tonight, which was 7 hours ago. 10 to 16 inches. Localized amounts up to 20 inches over higher terrain. We're more on the coast, so that's the higher terrain's not usually us. But yeah, so yeah, 10 to 16 range. Yep. Hey, we've had forecasts with 24 to 36 before, so I'm not really complaining. We've actually had we've had a few storms, but nothing. I think that'll be the biggest storm we've had this winter. Thankfully, I don't think they're calling for high winds, so hopefully we shouldn't lose power. But if we get that much snow, if it's a wet snow, we might have downlines and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Um, I'm trying to see if it says anything over winds. Uh, yeah, potential for heavy snowfall. Thanks. Yeah, great. Um, yeah, luckily it doesn't look like we're gonna get any, nothing. It's not saying like 50 to 60 mile an hour winds or anything like that. But just so you know, So if I'm not streaming on Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm probably buried under snow. Oh yeah, very funny, Dr. Turgan. I just saw the condolences to your wife. Nice. Um, anyway, so we'll call it good for this stream. And like I said, I may or may not be back very shortly. If not, probably stream tomorrow. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was one of our, kind of nothing went right streams for, well, some stuff went right. We got the cooling in, but obviously furnaces being a pain. So, all right. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good night.